el Movie Show de hoy repasamos la carrera de Michael J. Fox. Desde la oscarizada aventura de Regreso al Futuro hasta Doc Hollywood, donde hace de un médico de pueblo. Michael juega al ratón y al gato en el Movie Show de hoy. ¿Quién dice que si eres bueno no llegas a ningún lado? Michael J. Fox desafió a todo quisque cuando cogió todas sus pertenencias y se trasladó a Hollywood soñando con llegar a la gloria. Pero Mike tenía un largo camino por delante, pues su currículum se limitaba a breves interpretaciones en su Canadá natal.
I did a TV series called Leo and Me in Canada. We shot in Vancouver like 1976, and maybe people in Calgary might remember it or not. Probably not.
Michael consiguió un papel protagonista en una serie de corta duración, Palmerston, USA. Cuando terminó la serie se había gastado todo el dinero que había ganado con ella y se encontró con una deuda de $35.000. Michael vivió a base de macarrones y queso y vendió todos sus muebles uno a uno para llegar a fin de mes. Las cosas mejoraron cuando pudo optar al papel de Alex P. Keaton, el hijo yuppie de padres liberales, en una comedia de situación titulada Enredos de familia. Tras 2 pruebas, consiguió el papel y pronto eclipsó a Meredith Baxter, convirtiéndose en la estrella de la serie. Un breve descanso de su personaje en Enredos de familia permitió a Michael protagonizar una comedia de bajo presupuesto, Teen Wolf. En ese mismo año sustituyó a Eric Stoltz en el papel de Marty McFly en la comedia Regreso al Futuro. Tenía un horario de lo más apretado, ya que rodaba Enredos de familia durante el día y Regreso al Futuro por la noche. Pero no lo iba a lamentar. Fue la película más taquillera de 1985, recaudando más de 19.635 millones de pesetas.
We had 5 weeks off because Meredith was having twins, so and I never thought about doing movies, but someone offered me like this little low-budget werewolf movie, and I thought, well, that's a way to kill 5 weeks. That'll be fun. So I went and I did that, and then I get back to work, and then I get a phone call that they're replacing an actor on Back to the Future, and would I do it? I got to do both things at the same time, but am I willing to do that? And Gary Goldberg said I could, so I did. Next thing I know, next summer, I got 2 movies that are like big hits, and I had no idea. I mean, I was like semi-conscious during most of that time because I was working so much.
Vera, what's the company car doing in the driveway?
It broke down, darling. The driver had to take the train back to town.
No, he didn't, darling. He's in here having trouble with his fly.
Michael triunfó de nuevo en 1987 con El secreto de mi éxito, interpretando a un empleado ambicioso que va escalando puestos hasta la cima de la empresa. Michael conoció a la actriz Tracy Pollan en el rodaje de Enredos de familia, donde ella interpretaba a su novia, Ellen. La vida imitó al arte y la pareja se convirtió pronto en inseparable fuera de la pantalla. Incluso trabajaron juntos en Noches de Neón de 1988, el mismo año en el que se casaron.
He's been a good friend to me at a time of need, and he's generous in his own careless way. No, you two very close.
I think he's an ass.
Exactly.
Fox escogió otro drama para seguir su carrera. En 1989 protagonizó Corazones de Hierro, dirigida por Brian De Palma. Era un papel distinto a los habituales de Michael J. Fox, que hubo de competir con Sean Penn, mucho más experimentado en estas lides.
Yeah, you got a weapon. We all got weapons. Anybody can blow anybody away.
I tend to just take each project on its own merits and don't try to think about whether or not I'm going to be doing something different or changing people's perception or that kind of thing. It was an interesting role. It was a tremendously thought-provoking script, and the opportunity to work with Brian and ultimately with Sean. All of those things combined to make it something that I could just not do. I mean, I had to do it, and I looked forward to it. I've had success in comedy, and I enjoy doing it, and I'll continue to do it. But I mean, I just think of myself as an actor, and that being the case, I have to make a habit out of accepting work that might not be what's expected of me because it's what I have to do. It's my job.
Tanto Corazones de Hierro como Noches de Neón tuvieron poco éxito en taquilla, lo cual indica que el público no estaba preparado para ver la cara más seria de Michael.
It's hard to say because I tend not to embrace that wholeheartedly, although I agree that films didn't do well. But Casualties, for example, was a... See, I can make the distinction. I can say, well, this is a pretty out there thing for me to do, and I don't care really because I love doing it. And the studios kind of go, well, this is an out there thing, but we'd like him to do it. But when it comes to selling a movie, they gotta go, well, this isn't, you know, Secret of My Success, this is something else. But to try to sell that movie like Secret of My Success, like a movie like Casualties of War, you know, audiences won't really gonna get this because it's too boring and complicated to try to get. But to open that movie on 1,600 screens in the middle of summer, it's not what you do.
Don't talk to anyone. You've been looking, Bob! Hey, look! Don't touch anything.
I need to borrow your hoverboard.
And try not to look at anything. I didn't invent the time machine to win at gambling.
I can't lose.
I invented the time machine to travel through time.
Hey, Doc, I'm all for that. What's wrong with making a few bucks on the side?
Fox recuperó la fórmula del éxito en 1989 con la segunda parte de su mayor bombazo, Regreso al futuro. Esta vez, su personaje viajaba al futuro para vigilar a sus hijos. Esta segunda parte tuvo tanto éxito como la primera, recaudando más de 8.176 millones de pesetas en ese año.
Hey, 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 stop! Little girl, stop! Look, I need to borrow your hoverboard. Where is he? Here. There!
He's on a hoverboard!
Regreso al futuro 3 se rodó al mismo tiempo que la segunda parte, pero se estrenó al año siguiente. Esta vez, Marty regresaba al lejano oeste para impedir la muerte de Doc Brown a manos del abuelo del pistolero Biff.
Right here, Shannon!
¿Hay perspectivas de rodar una cuarta parte de Regreso al futuro?
I really seriously doubt it. I'm far too old. And, yeah, maybe with, like, Gump. Maybe, like, Gump goes back to the future. And with meets Roger Rabbit.
What if this cop doesn't want you tagging after him?
Two pros exchanging ideas. Why wouldn't you want to do it?
Not if you tied my tongue to your tailpipe and drove me 80 miles an hour naked across a field of broken glass.
Evidently, the guy just wants to blend in so nobody knows he's Nick Lang, okay?
My trainer's got me a Nautilus and the Stairmaster, so you don't have to worry about Nick Lang.
He's told me face to face that he wants to be me.
I'll just,
Do what you do in Hollywood.
Michael hizo una sátira del mundo de la televisión en una comedia de acción, Colegas a la fuerza, con James Woods. Interpretaba a un repelente actor de Hollywood al que un detective de Nueva York enseña a actuar como un policía.
We get one take. It lasts our whole lives. We mess it up, we're dead.
That was great. I'm serious. Can you just do that one more time for me?
Aquel mismo año protagonizó con su buen amigo Woody Harrelson la comedia Doc Hollywood, interpretando a un aspirante a cirujano plástico que se ve obligado a vivir en un pequeño pueblo sureño.
It was nice. You know, it was nice to get the girl. Nice to do a romantic comedy and to do a film that, you know, that's something that, you know, it's that old cliche that the whole family can go to, but it's true, you know, and also it just kind of struck on something that I've been feeling, and I think a lot of people, you know, on the continent feel that you know, everybody's kind of tired from the 80s and a little worn out, and they realize that, you know, they're going to be dead for a long time, so they should enjoy life, you know. So people are kind of dropping back a little bit and you know, pulling the car off the road and looking around, and this is a whole movie about that.
Do doctors know more about sex than normal people?
I have a fair knowledge of animal husbandry. It's all pretty much the same thing.
There's this whole instant gratification thing, and, you know, follow it up. You know, certainly the Back to the Future movies are like that, and the Hardware is like that a little bit. You know, follow each thing up with another thing. And I think there are some movies that people like to watch where things just flow over them, and, you know, the next thing comes along in its own good time, and you know, it's just a sweet movie, and I don't know, I think people will like it.
Al público le gustó Doc Hollywood, pero solo recaudó algo más de 5.400 millones de pesetas. Su siguiente película, Dame un respiro, no tuvo muy buena acogida. Michael hacía de un antiguo niño prodigio reciclado en agente que convierte a una raterilla en un bombazo de la noche a la mañana.
Where did you find her? I met her in a restaurant. Ed, this kid is unbelievable. She's dying to act. And my gut instincts tell me she's got what it takes. Why isn't she in school?
I'm off for Christmas.
Well, Christmas is 3 weeks away, honey.
I'm very religious.
Como padre de 3 hijos, ¿permitiría Michael J. Fox que estos entrasen en el mundo del espectáculo?
It's really hard to say, because it all depends on how it's done. I mean, there are people that have their kids work in the movies where they are functioning detail of the household income in the house is dependent upon that, and there's pressure that's put on children that's really, it's almost criminal. But if a kid, you know, is old enough to know the difference and has an active interest in something, and you can handle it in a responsible way, absolutely. So I wouldn't say, I'm not prepared to sit here right now and say that there's anything that anything legal or healthy that I wouldn't let my kids do if they wanted to do it, you know.
You won't make it out there on the road. That's where they catch you and take you to the pound.
I'm staying right here.
Huh? Oh, Brazilla returns. Hey, guys, wait up, I'm coming.
Fox puso la voz a Chance, un bulldog americano en la nueva versión de Un viaje increíble estrenada en 1993. Junto a la suya participaron voces como la de Sally Field o Donna Michi.
Whoa. Shadow. 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 Oh, Shadow. 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 What? There's a huge cat.
Balderdash, you're smelling things. Now stop scaring the fish.
Ese mismo año hizo una fantástica interpretación como secundario en el drama Where the Rivers Flow North, donde hacía de un malo donde los haya.
Mr. Quinn has suggested that we hire you as the caretaker for our new park. I like the idea. Give visitors a chance to see what it used to be like in the old days. How the trees go back in your family. Enjoy your stay at the Bradbury. I got Miss Saigon, I got cats, I got the Grateful Dead and Nassau Coliseum.
The dead? Why didn't you say so?
Tell him Joey Pickles says hello.
Tell him that.
Yes, a hotel like none that has ever existed.
How much?
$3 million.
We're in business, partner.
Well, it's essentially, it's a very similar thing to performing. I mean, he's got to be on, and he's got to have his stuff together, and he's got to have an energy. He's got to deal with the public. He's got to please. And at the same time, he's got to keep a very clear idea of what his agenda is and what he wants. And so in that way, I could relate. I like doing this a little better, but yeah, maybe it would have made a good concierge. Top of my head, I would say that you were, Miss, a bottle of Joy de Jean Pétu, please. My girlfriend wears this. Now, she's about your age. Well, actually, she's not your age. She'll be 38 in June, and you're probably, what, 34? Anyway, Joy is what she wears, and I gotta tell you, that heady musk.
Al año siguiente trabajó junto al veterano Kirk Douglas en la comedia Greedy. Fue una de las escasas apariciones de la estrella protagonista de Espartaco, y Fox reconoce que considera un honor haber trabajado con él.
I think I'm going to give her all my money.
God knows I'd give her all my money.
Her tongue is practically in his wallet.
She seems to spend most of her time swimming in the nude.
Ooh.
When she's through with him, there'll be nothing left of him but a smile and an old hat.
Can I ask you a personal question?
All right.
What are your breasts doing on my uncle's eyebrows?
Isn't our self-respect worth more than any inheritance?
No! No!
Excuse me a second.
Aunque su carrera cinematográfica estaba en punto muerto y Enredos de Familia ya era un recuerdo lejano, Fox siguió teniendo muchos fans.
Because of the movies and television and all these different things, people just know me. You know, I always get that odd thing where people come up and say, hey, how you doing? And I go, hey, how you doing? And I'm sitting there going, where do I know this guy from? And I feel like a complete idiot. And then I'll say, no, you don't know me. And then I realize I just know I'm on TV. That's where they know me from.
In the past 7 weeks, 59% of the country has begun to question your family values.
This poll doesn't talk about my presidency. This poll talks about my life.
I gotta nip this in the bud. This has catastrophe written all over it. Sidney, the man is the leader of the free world. He's brilliant, he's funny, he's an above-average dancer. Isn't it possible our standards are just a tad high?
En 1995, Fox trabajó junto a Michael Douglas y Annette Bening en El presidente y Miss Wade. Hacía de consejero presidencial, un papel que era casi el prototipo de su personaje en Spin City, loca alcaldía.
Mr. President, you raised a daughter.
almost entirely on your own. And she's terrific. So what does it say to you that in the past 7 weeks, 59% of this country has begun to question your family values?
The president doesn't answer to you, Louis.
Oh, yes, he does, AJ. I'm a citizen. This is my president. And in this country, it is not only permissible to question our leaders, it's our responsibility. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I just did that for a laugh. See, Delilah, I have humor, grace, and style. Those are 3 qualities you don't find in most dogs.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Michael volvió a ser la voz de Chains en Homeward Bound, segunda parte que no tuvo tanto éxito como la primera. Regresó con un papel protagonista en Agárrame esos fantasmas, donde hacía de un estafador que tiene un negocio de espantar espectros.
That was the soul collector. When your number's up, that's it.
Frank, we got problems. All these murders that have been going on in Fairwater, they're gonna pin them on you.
El director Peter Jackson afirmó que Fox le había ayudado a reescribir el guión durante el rodaje en Nueva Zelanda.
The way that a guy like me who doesn't write can write is when there's a really great script and a really great story and you have a foundation that's so strong. Then I can come in and go, you know, it'd be cool if this guy did this and this guy did that. I can't think up that guy or think up this situation. But once it's there, coming from the point of view of living the character, I mean, I might have some ideas or some concepts.
Talking about, you're in great shape.
My joints are getting powdery. Dog's running away with my face. Hell, I'm falling apart. Give it up, Frank. Death ain't no way to make a living.
¿Ha tenido Fox alguna experiencia sobrenatural?
I can't really say that I have. You know, I don't disbelieve it. I mean, I believe it like crazy. I mean, if somebody says to me that they had that experience, great. I don't, and I wouldn't be shocked if you know, it's like that idea that if, you know, if aliens landed right now, I wouldn't be going, oh, it can't be happening. I'd go and check it out. I don't disbelieve that it could happen, but, you know, I got enough in front of me right now, you know, with what I actually can see, you know.
People say they're ugly, but I think they've come to show us the way.
En 1996, Michael hizo un papel pequeño en la parodia de Tim Burton, Mars Attacks, interpretando a un periodista que tiene la exclusiva del año. En noviembre de 1998, Michael reveló a la revista People que había estado luchando en secreto contra el Parkinson durante los últimos 7 años. Se ha sometido a una operación del cerebro para reducir los temblores más fuertes y mantiene la esperanza de que se encuentre cura a esta enfermedad antes de que él cumpla los 50. Tras una ausencia de 3 años, Michael ha vuelto al cine poniendo la voz al precoz ratoncito Stuart Little.
Nice kitty. Nice kitty. Pretty kitty.
Are you cozy?
Yes, thanks. I'm quite comfortable.
Because all I've got to sleep on is a rag in the corner, you little rat.
You seem tense.
Tense? Oh, I'm way past tense.
Well, maybe I can help. What do you like? Can I scratch your ears? I could rub your tummy.
How'd you like to rub it from the inside, mouse boy?
Pese a que es la encarnación del típico americano de la generación del baby boom, Michael J. Fox no ha olvidado sus raíces canadienses.
I laugh when I tell people that, you know, that I don't know if you remember, Maclean's magazine had a contest a few years ago, and the idea of the contest was that you had to finish this sentence as Canadian as, the idea being that it would be like as American as apple pie or whatever. And the winner was as Canadian as possible under the circumstances. So I think that's kind of the way we feel about ourselves. We know who we are, but this whole joking, this whole thing that everyone says about we're struggling for identity, I think we know who we are, and more importantly, we're willing to laugh at who we are.
Tenías que haber estado aquí a las 6:30. Es lunes, su clase de hípica es los martes. Excepto el tercer martes de cada mes, que pasa al lunes.
No tienen nada en común.
Yo tengo una vida. ¡Oh, ya! Y yo no, porque tengo hijos.
Isabel debe hacer grandes
¿Y
esfuerzos.
tu hermano? No lo sé. ¡Oh, mi vida! Lo siento mucho.
Jackie es casi perfecta.
Le podía pasar a cualquiera.
¡Menos a mí!
Ambas tienen que aparcar sus diferencias
Si tú quieres que la odie, yo lo haré.
por el bien de la familia.
No se trata de mí o de ti, se trata de ellos.
Quédate a mi lado.
Yo prefiero estar con mamá. Ahora tu madre es Isabel.
No dejes plantada a tu madre.
No, esa es tu especialidad.
Jueves 12, a las 10 de la noche, en Cinemanía.
Hemos venido a examinar el meteorito, si eso es lo que es.
Es una roca que sangra.
Es algo muy extraño.
Me resulta increíble aunque lo haya visto. Está evolucionando. Parece que nuestros pequeños están creciendo.
Espero que no lleguen a la puerta. ¡Se me ha metido un bicho en el traje!
El traje es hermético, eso es imposible.
Tú puedes decir lo que quieras, pero sé muy bien cuando tengo un bicho en él. ¡Está dentro de mí! ¡Sáquenme ese bicho!
¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo lo sacará?
Tal vez pueda pillarlo en el color. ¡Giradle!
Iré por vaselina.
No hay tiempo para eso.
¡Siempre hay tiempo para la vaselina!
Este verano,
¿Estamos ante una especie de ataque alienígena?
disfruta